Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make your own Z palette. This is a DIY to show you how to make a Z palette for next to nothing. So this is what an original Z palette looks like. I actually got this one from a subscriber a couple years ago. She had sent it to me. So I was very hesitant on buying a new one because they're so expensive. So this is what I made this morning using one of my recycled eBay palettes. I took out the insides and threw away the product and whatever, and made a new palette out of it. So I wanted to show you guys quickly how I do this. So here I'm going to be using a 120 palette that has the double stack in it. So this palette is slightly deeper, so I might turn this into a 2-stack blush palette. I'm not sure yet. So what you're going to need to do is sanitize the inside of your palette with 91% alcohol. You can use 50% if you like, but I prefer 91%. And just clean it up as much as you can. Make sure to also clean the outside of the palette, okay? I've had this palette for 5 to 6 years, so it was okay for me to get rid of it now. And back then, these 120 palettes were about $20 a piece. Now you can get them for $10 or $7 even. Alright, so now that it's all clean, this is how it looks on the inside after it's dried. This is what you're going to need. Magnetic sheets. You can get these from Walmart. These are adhesive magnetic sheets. Get them in the arts and crafts section. Alright, so this is how it looks. And then we're just going to put it in there. We're going to take off the paper that's on the back of the sheet. If you're not good with sticky stuff, just do this little by little. Instead of taking the whole sheet off, just take off the top, like top part of it and start sticking it in, and then, taking it off little by little. So we want to try to get the sheet as close as possible into the corners. We want to get it as close as possible into the corners, really tight into the corners. Okay? And then just lay it down really flat and just give it a good rub. Make sure there's no air bubbles and make sure it sticks onto the palette. Alright, so as you guys could see, we have some space left over. I'm going to use some leftover magnetic sheet that I had from the previous palette and just measure out the parts that need to be filled in. I'm going to use a old eyeliner pencil just to mark where I need to cut. So try to get the sheet into the corner as close as you can and just mark where you need to cut. Alright, so I'm getting it in there. Mark it, and then I'm gonna actually use my Z palette, the one that I got, as a ruler because I could not find a ruler in my house, so we're just gonna use this. I have rulers, just can't find them. Kids hide them for me, I don't know. Alright, so now that we have our line down, we're just gonna cut it. I'm using some child safe scissors. That's all I have in my house. Oh, we're just gonna use this. Okay, and then we're just going to take off the paper and stick it into the corner. Alright, so as you guys can see, where the palette closes, we have a slight problem there. All you're going to have to do is just take the scissors and cut where the little like in parts where the palette kind of goes in a little bit to close. Just cut right there, and then rearrange it so it could fit better, and then you push it down on both sides and it will stick perfectly in there. Make sure you press it in there really, really good. Okay? All right, so now for the other side. As you can see, we need a bigger piece, so we're just going to measure that out. You know, I know you guys want to buy the La Femme blushes, and then when they come with no pan or no compact or packaging, you're like, what am I gonna do? Well, you can do this. If you have an old eBay palette that you do not use, that's been collecting dust from since whenever, I'm pretty sure you could sacrifice it and turn it into a magnetic palette without having to buy a whole new magnetic palette online or buy a Z palette. Ooh, whose little fingers are there? That's your fingers, baby. Alright, so we're just going to cut off that piece right there. And so now we're just going to lay it down in there close to the corners. Make sure to have the side that's cut the straightest facing inwards, okay? And then the rough side outward. Just kind of push it down in there so you can get the perfect size. Okay, now that you have the perfect size, you could give that a cut and then stick it down in there. Yes, baby? Okay. Alright, now use the scissors. Take it just to push down the edges all the way around the palette just to make sure it's nice and secure. And then here you go. Your very own magnetic Z palette in quotations, okay? As you guys can see, it's very sturdy, okay? Magnetic works perfectly fine, and it cost you less than $4. Alright, so I might turn this into a double stack. Who knows? I might go outside and destroy it with a hammer. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget, rate and subscribe and check out these tutorials. Bye.